Alrighty, I don't know what other people were watching tonight, but on Late Night with Smitty, we got Nicky Kaufman, Northwest Territories skip from the Scotties, and we've been conversing on Facebook and that sort of thing, and we decided on a date, the 24th of February, for you to come on and share your story. So I really do appreciate you coming on, Nikki, and giving your time and sharing your story because I believe every story is important. Every story needs to be told.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, no worries. And it's such a small world. I see mutual friends. I see somebody that I went to school with years and years ago that we're mutual friends with. So it kind of perks my interest in that sort of thing. And I'm always interested to meet people and all of that. But you know, you were just in Mississauga at the Scotties, skipped in the Northwest Territories and that sort of thing. And what kind of perked your interest in first getting into curling, and then we'll get into some other stuff. But yeah, what kind of perked your interest with doing that? And we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, a lot of people in my family curl, my parents and grandparents. So as a young kid, I spent a lot of time at the rink and watching curling on TV. So just thought it was kind of cool to maybe try one day. And then once I threw that first rock, I think I was just hooked right away.
That's good. And yeah, so are there any role models, mentors that were kind of contributing to that you've kind of looked up to through your life and in your curling? You know, you said, and I've listened to some stuff about curling's been your rock for 25 years. So you just kind of want to maybe dive into that a bit, what 25 years of curling means to Nicky Kaufman.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's just so many amazing role models. Female curlers, just to name a few, like Sandra Smirler, Colleen Jones, Jennifer Jones. I watched them all and just admired each one for their grit and passion and just yeah, that confidence under pressure. It's yeah, fun to watch.
Mhm. How would you kind of, being at the Scotties there, TSN, all the cameras are all around. How would you kind of, was that kind of your first Scotties? Again, it was kind of one of the Scotties that was held in more of the metropolitan area of a city. Usually it's in the Edmontons or Prince George, but it's in Mississauga, which some people kind of forget about. But it's there. It has the ice dogs and that sort of thing. But how was that experience being at the Scotties?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, love the location and it was my first Scotties. I'd been close a few times before, losing a couple Alberta provincial finals. So yeah, to finally get to go and experience what I've seen on TV so many times, it felt pretty special.
Yeah, and it's one of these things, and I've been to the Briar. The Grand Slam was just here in Steinbach, and again, seeing all the people that were there now at the Olympics, and it's just, you kind of say to yourself, okay, yeah, you're kind of there. I mean, you're amongst, teams of, the Caitlin Laws, the Carrie Andersons, multiple other teams that are there. So how do you kind of take that all in?
Our team tried to stay in our bubble as much as we could and just focus on our processes or pregame routines and it didn't matter too much who we were playing, although it was kind of nice to see how we could rank up against some of the best teams in the country and yeah.
Yeah, and it's with the Northwest Territories, they kind of get forgotten about, but how do you kind of see that? I mean, you are in Edmonton, correct, right? And you do, and they're just north of you, but how do you kind of see the future of curling in particular with the Northwest Territories? on the men's side, we see Jamie Cooey doing his thing and that sort of thing. But um, are they gaining more relevancy, if you will?
Yeah, I think so. That's a great question. Being from Alberta, there's a few things I took advantage of. Like there's maybe six other curling clubs that are within a 30-minute drive of me that I could go practice at any time. But I didn't realize how hard it is sometimes for them to access ice time or
Mhm.
the amount of travel and planning, and they have to have a huge budget just to compete at the same level as us teams from Alberta did. So but I do see the game growing in the north, and their junior programs are so strong and have a lot of participation, and I can see great things coming. Some of my teammates are quite young too, and they're going to be carrying the torch and hopefully creating the same kind of legacy as like Carrie Carrie Galusha has. She's done so much for curling up north and inspired so many. It's yeah, amazing to kind of learn from her and follow a bit in her footsteps.
So, from what I gather, yeah, your profession, you're a realtor. So, how does that kind of translate into, the curling world? Aspects. I'm in sales. I like to talk to people, get to know their story. And I've kind of taken that to the podcast. So I'm just wondering how how do you kind of mix the two?
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know too many other realtors that curl or curlers that do real estate, but I see a lot of parallels in it. Like every game of curling is a bit different, a different opponent, different ice conditions, different strategy that you want to implement, and I kind of apply that same thought process to my business. Every client of mine is a bit different. We're working with a different client on the other side of the deal. Each house has its own issues and challenges, and it's all kind of a puzzle that you try to piece a lot of information together and do the best you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that answer, and I think that's good, and problem solving and that sort of thing. And so when I emailed you, some questions and everything else, you said that you were the first athlete with autism to perform at the openly uh, to perform at the Scotties, and yet you have an ADHD diagnosis, and you sent me this great link, and I think this is awesome that you've created this for kids with this neurodivergent. I just think I've watched it a few times just to get myself versed, but I'm like, this is what it means to pass down to the next generation. No question.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, there hasn't been an openly autistic athlete at the Scotties before. And so it's kind of yeah, a neat experience to bring that representation and show others that can maybe relate to me a little bit that it is possible. If you want to put the work in, you can compete at that level too. And that's kind of a bit of what I'm trying to do with my programs, just make it a bit easier for neurodivergent athletes to be introduced to curling.
Mhm.
We create kind of like sensory friendly environment with neuro-affirming instructors and a structure that might work a little bit better with their brains. And yeah, so since the Scotties, I've gotten so many requests and messages from parents be like, "Oh, my kid has a diagnosis. Where can I go? When's your next clinic?"
Right, and I think that's the thing because I think you're a bit younger than me. You're never supposed to have women their age. Uh, but that was always the thing in school. It was like, well, just kind of put up and shut up and just kind of do our thing. And it's like, well, no, like, yeah, there's the resource teachers, there's the tutors, but like there is, I think a more serious need for this than we realize, and you've tapped into that, and I think that's great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, I think I read a stat, something like between 10 to 20% of the population is neurodiverse. Many are not aware of it. Like myself, might go a long time before getting diagnosed. But I think, yeah, it's something that maybe all sports need to keep in mind. How do we make our program more inclusive? And curling is such a great game and easily adaptable to those needs. So I think, yeah, there's a lot more we can be doing in these spaces, and I'm happy to keep starting more conversations and get people thinking about what can we do for these, especially for the youth coming up, and get them involved in sport because there's so many benefits for them, but there's so many benefits for growth of the sport as well.
Yeah, most definitely, right. And so you're getting all these requests. Like, are you setting up like 5, 6 Zoom calls a day, or how does life look for you in in that? You show a house and then you do 3 Zoom calls, show another house, or what does that look like for Nicky Kaufman?
Yeah, it's a bit of a juggling act, between my work and my own curling schedule and family commitments and doing the best I can. And yeah, hopefully with some more resources and like, if I can keep building my business and get more volunteers, maybe we can do a little more to field these requests and help fill this need that seems to be growing.
Hmm. So do you have people helping you with that, or is it just you?
I do have a couple people helping, yeah. My sisters are doing quite a bit, especially on my website and social media side of things. And they come out to my sessions, kind of help me run the drop-ins.
Hmm. Okay, and so as you say, you're getting quite a few people coming out, and is it kind of going from at one group and then they're kind of teaching and then it's going to other groups, or how does that kind of look like?
Yeah, I mean that's the idea that we can grow it into bigger things. Right now, it's just like an introductory drop-in session, but I'd love to expand to like a 4 to 6 week learn to curl program where we can show them a bit more about curling or even a century friendly league or a bonspiel at some point. But with the amount of resources and time I have right now, we're just starting small and trying to gauge the interest and see if we can grow from here.
No, but as like I said there before, I think there, as you say, you've tapped into this, and if 10 to 20% of people have this, then of course, more the need, the better for it. So I can only see this to be a good thing, and it can only keep growing, right? So I think that's awesome. Kind of go back to the curling side of things. Any routines, superstitions for Nicky Kaufman?
Don't think so. Not so much for me. I
Okay.
found my team this year, they're a bit superstitious. I tried not to mess with their little routines and beliefs. Like we'd have to sit in the same spot in the vehicle on our drive to games every day until we lost, and then we had to switch it up, or the hair needs to be done a certain way and stuff like that. I thought was kind of amusing.
Right, right. And so, um, yeah, I think that's all so awesome. Have you had chances to meet any broadcasters at the Scotties, like Vic Rauter, Brian Mudrick? There's some other ones in there I'm missing, but Glenn Howard or Russ Howard, pardon me.
Mhm. No, not so much. The funny thing is though, I used to curl with Joanne Courtney, who's one of the
Mm,
commentators on the games. We played
yes.
on the U of A team together.
Yeah.
So I actually ran into her at the airport on our way to the Scotties and we chatted a bit. So,
Okay. She's very entertaining on social media. I don't know if
oh
she
yeah.
is. You never, yeah, she's very active and very very entertaining to listen to. So that's a lot of fun. Where do you kind of see yourself in 5 years from now? Just in the curling side, we'll leave the work out of it, but I mean, if you want to bring that in, but where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, I'd like to keep building and growing with the team. Hopefully, there's more Scotties appearances in my future. It was so fun to play in that event, and yeah, that's it's really a privilege to get to that level. But yeah, yeah. So as long as I can stay healthy and injury free, then yeah.
Yeah, once we once we get into our 40s, it's all bets are off. I kid a bit, but it's never know. Chop the firewood the wrong way, it's a bad scene.
You're right.
Get out of the hot tub wrong, whatever else. So,
Yeah.
so that's all good. What else did I have here? Um, I asked you about role models, mentors, routines, and that sort of thing. Um, what do the next few months look like for you? Just I know kind of the curling season is wrapping up with the Worlds happening in Calgary starting on the
Mhm.
14th. But any curling events for you that are coming up for you?
Yeah, actually, this weekend I'll be curling in the Alberta Mixed Provincials.
Mhm. Okay.
But other than that, our season's kind of winding down, so looking forward to a little bit more time in the off season. Um, yeah, I have a couple speaking engagements coming up to talk more about neurodiversity and curling, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Keep spreading the message and yeah, see what we can do in there.
Is that just in Alberta, or is that like Caleb there from Humboldt? He says, I'm gonna be in Winnipeg." I'm like, "Dude, you were just in the Olympics. You're gonna be in Winnipeg in March." Yeah, so are you gonna be in Toronto, Nova Scotia, or where are these events taking place?
In Alberta.
Okay.
One of them will be at the Women's World. I was invited to a panel to kind of discuss, yeah, growth in the sport. I'm looking forward to that.
Hmm. So are like so people are open to this concept. You're not facing any barriers with it.
I think so. Everyone I've talked to like loves it and wants to support the idea. I think the main barriers is just myself, my own time restrictions and funding, to be frank. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah.
I see. So I mean that's all good and everything else. So was there anything here that I know we've kind of gone over stuff kind of in, point form. But was there something here that I haven't covered that you'd like me to cover or talk about?
Um, no, I'm curious on your take about curling at the Olympics. What did you get to watch many of the games?
Yes, and you know what? Yes, of course. So again, through work and everything else, okay, we try to stream stuff, and then stuff always happening, and yeah, it was interesting, and the Mark Kennedy thing that was fun to watch. I mean that blew up my Facebook page on Late Night with Smitty. I really would have met him at the Grand Slam. I'd definitely get him on. But this thing with the touching and all of that, I mean, I couldn't believe the uproar, and then it happened on with Holman as well, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting, and Jacobs had a bit of a take on it, saying, there were people in the stands kind of saying to Team Sweden, well, they're doing this, and that makes for great theater. I always say Canadians are polite until they're not. So I just think like I mean, look, I was just at the Grand Slam. You could hear everything they were saying. I'm
Mhm.
always I try to be row one or row two. And for that to take place, I mean the stakes are high. I thought it was somewhat funny, to be honest.
Yeah, entertaining for sure.
Uh
And it's such a little known rule too about the double touching. I mean, I've been curling more than 25 years and I wasn't really even clear on the rule either and what he allegedly was doing with that I wasn't even aware that that was wrong. So So for it to all come fired up at the Olympics when the pressure's on was interesting.
Yeah, it definitely was, right? And we've seen lots of sports come into the Olympics like way past from when it was in Calgary in '88 when Elizabeth Manley won, her medal to all these other events. And I don't even know, I don't think curling was in. And and the thing is, all these other events have come like curling and freestyles and moguls and everything else. And it's just, yeah, it opens it up to different aspects of the games. And I didn't know that throwing rocks could be such a passion. I guess that's what that's the realization. And I don't know, for me personally, like just seeing these guys a few weeks ago, like literally feet away from me in our arena here in Steinbach, watching it. So it
Yeah.
kind of personalized it for me. Uh, and I felt when I went to a curling event, and when I went to one Grand Slam, I was going to go to three. I went to four. Like it was like I couldn't get enough of it. It was the weirdest thing. You guys are all so friendly, um, and so I do appreciate that. Seeing the curlers do the karaoke, you see that side of it. So
Mhm.
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that was yeah. So I thought that was very very funny. I know it may not be. I mean, Mark said too, right? Like I probably should have handled myself a bit better because I'm a role model for kids and everything else. I get that,
Mhm.
but like my kids
He
just
also didn't
yeah,
deserve all the negative comments and bullying that he's subject to after, or
yeah,
he didn't deserve to be called a cheater either. So
right.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's always easy to play Monday morning quarterback, right? Like it's like really? Um you know what? And again, this is the social media that we live in, right? Like would you say that to my face? Like well, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't say that to Mark's face that he was a cheater.
No.
It's easy on the keyboard to do that. You hold your breath and take a deep breath
Mhm.
before you post. At least that's what I try to do. I mean, I'll admit there's stuff when I was 31 or 30, I wouldn't post today at 46. Yeah, just not that it was outrageous, but you know, uh, whatever, right? You have to be mindful of it, and because people are watching.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
regardless. I've had people inbox me on this Facebook page that aren't even part of the page. Hey, I love the podcast, so people are always watching. You got to watch what you say.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story. But yeah, it's good. It's I don't know. And maybe I'm not sure what they would award gold medalists for in curling in Canada. Maybe July 1st celebration at the Parliament buildings. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, it's good. So that's all right. Yeah, and yeah, I was gonna ask you how you know, but maybe I'll save that to when I stop record. But so that's all good. Was there anything else though, honestly?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. So good. So yeah, I'll put this on the page after, and then I'll put it on YouTube. Feel free to share it on your Facebook there. I know when I said you were coming on, 31 likes, and it seemed like people were pretty excited that you were coming on, so that's all good. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. And as I always say to everybody, feel free to come on again. But this has been awesome, Nikki. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
this was great. It was nice getting to chat with you.
yeah, for sure, absolutely.